Leicester Fan TV presents.
Good morning, all you Foxes fans. How the devil are you? How's your weekend been so far? Welcome to the original Leicester City Sunday morning football show. You know what day it is? It's Sunday. It's 9:30am. It's time for the famous Foxes Aftermath show, run by us fans in here for you fans out there. And you know what? Your opinion really matters. So get them comments in. Let's get going. It's kick-off time. Come on, you Foxes!
We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, as the moment the show started, Jamie disappeared. That is funny as hell. Get your views and comments in. Jamie will be here in very soon. That is mental. How are we doing, guys? How are we all doing? Nick, morning everyone. Gray, how are we doing? Morning, Anthony. Morning, Matthew. Morning, Andy. How are we all doing? Great. How are we doing, mate? Appreciate you coming in. As soon as Jamie is ready to go, I'll add him back in. There we go. Hello.
I don't know what happened there. It just went, as soon as the music stopped, it went off. So I don't know what it was. But anyway, welcome. I'm here in Leicester. I'm not outside the ground because it's raining. I've had to come in the room. I didn't want to get wet. But I was a little bit disappointed this morning, really, when I woke up and there was no news of him being sacked. I was quite shocked, actually. I thought he would have gone by last night. I really was, yeah. There was no fight. There was no spirit. There was no passion. There was no nothing. They showed more fight after the game in the tunnel than they did actually on the game. If they showed some of that before, during that 90 minutes football, I think we'd have done reasonably well. I was just disappointed. I didn't know what we were going to get, really. And then, I don't know, pal. I don't know. What were your thoughts? There was just nothing, was there? They looked lost. There was no cohesion, no nothing.
Well, when obviously the team news came out, I was a bit worried about the team because obviously we had two massive players in the team who have been better players for us over the last few weeks in the midfield gone. I think Page did well, but overall, like you said, it was awful. Again, didn't really get going again. And it felt like we just couldn't really get a foot in the game. We didn't beat them on the second balls, didn't beat them on anything. Don't get me wrong, we had all the possession. We had 70% possession in the first half. We didn't do anything with it. We had one shot on target, but I think overall, everyone expected it to be an awful game. But I didn't think we were going to be losing. In my opinion,
really, Oxford were awful. Oxford were terrible. They had two shots on target. Our keeper, Jacob, never saved one. Didn't have to save one shot at all. The two shots on target were both goals. I won't say they were defensive mistakes, but in that first 5 minutes, you keep a tight line. You keep it tight. You don't make defensive mistakes like that. You read the game. They were so not flat-footed. They were on the heels. They weren't on the toes. They weren't ready to pounce forward and push forward. You could see it coming, a long throw like Luke Thompson's been trying to do all season. It was perfect. They flicked it on. They went to the defender. The number two scored, didn't he? The defender, and he put it in the back of the net. 23 games without a clean sheet. Read it. It's unbelievable. Jono's just joined. Let's bring Jono in on that. On 23 clean sheet. 23 clean sheets in a row. That'd be great, wouldn't it, Jono? If it'd been 23 clean sheets. Conceded 40 goals, Jono, in them 23 games. That's the worst. There's only, I think, Sheff Wednesday conceded more. 10 points from the last 10 games. Jono, what's your thoughts on it, pal?
Yeah, morning all, by the way. And sorry, Jamie, I couldn't catch you yesterday. I
was a busy man. I was here, there, and everywhere, mate.
I could see that on the socials. Yeah, I could see that. Great that you bumped into Izzet and Walshy, I saw.
I made my night, I did. I tell you what, Jono, the football ruined the whole weekend. It was a 3,000-mile round trip. The football ruined it. The social life before and after was absolutely fantastic. I saw Aggie yesterday as well. But go on then, John. Enough about my social life. No one needs to know about my life. Go on. Let's talk football, pal.
Yeah. I actually bumped into Reedy on the way back to the station actually as well. Weirdly, just walking along randomly. So we had a little natter on the way back to the station. In terms of the clean sheets, yeah, it's just shocking, really. Yesterday was so ponderous. The football, the tippy tappy stuff is causing ourselves our own issues. Like the first goal came from Jacob and Vestergaard just messing about and him not controlling. It went out for a throw. And then that's where, and then we've been doing it all season. It's not new. We've been watching this week in, week out all season. We're causing ourselves our own issues by tippy tapping it around, making a mistake, and then allowing the other team to have, possession in our own last third. And that was exactly the same thing. They had a long throw, it went in, it went out again, and then it came back in again, and they scored. Lack of defensive cohesion, lack of energy or fight to get the ball away, lack of being able to fight for the second ball. Sometimes when we did get it away, there was no one else to fight for the second ball. It's just shocking. It's as bad as I've ever seen it.
Yesterday, where's my notes? Here's my notes. Oxford, we had 581 passes, and Oxford had 174 passes. To be honest, I think at least 400 were in our own half.
Yeah.
And here's a stat for you. I didn't know they did this stat. 110 of them passes were backwards. 110. Nearly a fifth of them passes were backwards. Reader, you love professional football. Explain. And who's just signed in? Because I can't see. Someone's just logged in, haven't they?
Gray.
Oh, we'll bring you on in a minute, Gray. We'll get you on. I know Gray loves coming on now. But come on then, Reader. A fifth of the passes yesterday were backwards. How does that win games?
It's annoying because everyone knows that I am a fan of the tippy tappy football when it comes to it working well. Like I say, Enzo 2 years ago, it showed that as much as it might have been boring to people, it did work. And I think you've got to have a good mind, a good tactical mind into knowing how to want to play it. And I just don't think Cifuentes has it in the locker. Again, when he first came in, he was saying, "Oh, I want to be aggressive. I want to be even more aggressive than we were before." But it just shows that we can't do it because I don't think he's got the intelligence to get the game going. Like, don't get me wrong, if Enzo is in charge, I think we could be a completely different side. But yeah, when you're passing back a fifth of the balls into your defence or whatnot,
you keep talking about Enzo. That's going backwards. We've got to go forwards. It's like we're going backwards.
I do get it. I do get it, but again, like I said, that's why even I'm singing the songs now because it's backwards and sideways all the time now. Like I want that to happen where it goes backwards, but then it goes forward, but he just never goes forward. And I'm not saying it's just down to the manager. I don't think even if we get rid of him, things are going to miraculously change. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you ever get in, they've still got the same players, they've still got the same board, they've still got the same club. So I just don't think much would change if he does go. But the only one you can get rid of is Marty. But like I said, the passing football at the moment, it's annoying because you see the likes of when you're playing Coventry in the first half, you absolutely blow them away and you could have been 2 or 3-0 up. Against Ipswich at home, it works. You did dominate them and you probably deserve to have a clean sheet in that game. But then you play against Oxford, who are second bottom of the league, and you can't seem to even get a pass going. So
you didn't even realise there was second. You didn't even realise there was second bottom, did you?
No, I got to the pub with you, and I saw the table, and I thought, bloody hell.
Yeah. Let's bring Gray in now. He's been sitting there long enough. I don't need to get too angry at me for not bringing him on. Morning, Gray. How are you, pal?
Morning, all.
Morning, Gray.
Come on then, hit me with it. Come on, Gray. Hit me with it. What do you want to speak about?
Just listening to what Reedy was saying there, I didn't realise until yesterday actually how negative a footballer Hamza Chowdhury is. And the commentators picked up on it, and he is terrible at making 5 passes from 1 yard to another yard and back to himself. It was terrible.
It was like the Chuckle Brothers, wasn't it, Gray? To me, to you, to me, to you. And there was a lot of it. And there was a lot of 2 or 3 yard passes, Gray, weren't there? Where it was just to me, to you. It was awful. How do you play football like that, Gray?
You don't. I mean, who decided to put Vestergaard up top for the last 10 or 15 minutes? Because at least
Hey, if anything, that's one of the only positives.
Exactly.
That's the only one of the positives.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Go on, Jono.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that, and there's one or two things that has happened there. They put him up front, and they started swinging balls in, more hopeful than anything else. But actually, it was the first time that actually Oxford's back four had anything to deal with, and asking any sort of questions of them. And even Vestergaard being up front, 6'4", he only won one header. Pathetic. Yeah. So
it's another one off my notes, Jono.
It gave me something to think about.
Having 59 long balls yesterday, Jono. 59 from Leicester and 53. Sorry, the other way around. Sorry, 53 for Leicester, 59 for Oxford. I think about 10 of them were in the last 10 minutes.
So I want to know, what would be interesting for me is who made that decision to put Vestergaard up front. Is that Marty saying, this is the last roll of the dice? This is me admitting that the tippy-tappy nonsense is not working anymore. Let's try something else for the last 10 minutes to try and get something. Or was it the players actually going, F this, I'm going to go and do something else and sod the manager. We're going to try and do something else ourselves. Now, whichever way that is, it's not an endorsement on Marty whatsoever, is it?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Go on, Reader.
He obviously, from what I saw, and I was just laughing at myself, thinking, "Oh, we've got Vestergaard up front." Because obviously, then he brought Samari on, and he played him in centre back. He played him at the back to make sure we've got cover. That's how mental it was. So, I think it was a Marty decision because again, he had to bring another defensive-minded player on. But again, it was still a bit too late.
In my mind, lads, he's got to go. I think Cifuentes has had his time. I got laughed at. I got a richer new one when I said Rodgers should have gone well before he should have gone. I got absolutely ripped a new one about it, and they laughed at me. Now look where we are. We're right deep in the fucking shit. We really are. And I got laughed at. Rodgers. Oh, why do you want Brendan gone? Look what you might get, or don't wish whatever you say. Don't. What's that? I can't remember what the saying is now.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. I got ripped to shreds for a new one, and I'm saying it now. I've been saying it all season. I've never been favourite of Cifuentes. I was willing to give him a go. But even at Christmas time, before Christmas time, I want him gone. And Matty Piper on Radio Leicester says, no, it's too early. You can't get rid of him. It's not all his problem. No, it's not all his problem, but it is part of the problem. Yes, there is problems behind the scenes. As me and Reedy found out with a mutual friend of our editor like yesterday, there is problems from behind the scenes. And more than what we know about. And it's just one of them things. But the book stops with Marty. And everyone says, well, it's the players. It's not the players. The players get the tactics installed into them by the manager. And if they don't understand it, they look lost. Like they did yesterday, like they did against Wrexham, like they did against Coventry. It looked like they'd only just been thrown together 5 minutes before the game and introduced and didn't know what it was. Like a Sunday morning on Park, when you're short of players, right, and you get 3 or 4 new lads coming in, and they just join in to play. They looked lost yesterday, Jono. You were at the game, Jono. I know Reedy was as well. To me, they looked lost and didn't know what they were doing. To me, that's the manager's tactics that he's installed, that they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you've said there. They didn't look like a team. They didn't look like they cared, a few of them as well. I think Hamza's checked out as well. I just think I've been looking at him for a while. He's just jogs about when he plays and he doesn't get tight. There was a few goals earlier in the season where he was playing right back, just letting people drift by him. And it's just, it seems to be all the way through the team that sort of attitude continues. Just complacency or, I don't know what it is, not just wanting to get stuck in. It's really, really frustrating. And
like you were saying about that, Jono, really, Hamza yesterday was caught on his heels a couple of times, and he stood there and he went, "Oh shit, the ball!" And it was he wasn't anywhere to be seen. And after about 20 minutes, the booing started. Now I watch the ground. I watch it quite a lot on TV because I don't live here anymore. I watch the games and like great. You probably don't really hear it as much on the TV as you do at the actual ground. But the booing was 15, 20 minutes into the game when the passing, we were down 1-0 and the passing. And it was just, I could understand the frustration from the crowd reader from being there. Now, I get frustrated watching it on TV, but yesterday, I could actually hear the crowd moaning and groaning and booing. It's like, what's going on? It's more than what I actually thought.
Well,
It's
that wouldn't have
because-
happened. That wouldn't have
Hold
happened.
on, let Reedy have a go.
Yeah, sure.
It's only because it's just getting worse and worse. Like, it's got to the point now where every single thing we do wrong. Like, I think I can remember. I don't know whether this led to their first goal, but when Solicic kicked the ball and it hit the back of their player and then it went off for a throw in. I think that was for the goal. But again, anything like that, like the passing back when there's a good opportunity where everyone's seeing the balls, where you can see a pass going forward where it looks good, but then they just go backwards. It's like it's got to the point now where anything that they do that isn't progressive or anything that's not good enough, they will moan at. Even I booed yesterday because it's got to the point now where like there was times yesterday where we could have got the ball forward. Like say, are you every time he got the ball, the time he passes it away, he's in defence. He's not. He's just holding the ball up. He's not doing anything with it. Mavididi gets the ball, but he doesn't even want to try and take his man on. He just wants to go backwards. Fatawu tried to take his man on a few times, but because he's got 2-on-1 or because he has to try and beat him with pace, he sometimes gets caught out. We can't do enough to ever look that much of a threat anymore. Like I said, the only one that really gave any sort of positive kind of look on the game yesterday was Page because he wanted to try and move the ball forward. And every time he gave the pass to someone a bit further up, it just came backwards again.
Yeah. Like, great, like Mr. Sixer to Craig just said, it's a bit like deja vu, isn't it? Great. Unfortunately, we're going exactly the same way as the two previous relegations. It's just it's hard work, isn't it, Craig, to watch now? And it is a bit like deja vu, isn't it, Craig? Great.
Yeah, we've seen it so many times, but I can't believe how much of an influence one player can have on the team in JJ. Jesus Christ, he was missed yesterday. A 21-year-old lad and his footballing brain, just some of them that so-called big players, big wages and everything else are pulling, how much we rely on him. Yes, I thought, yeah, okay, it'll be a miss. But this lad's out for a month with our loan transfers or our 2 bob bit transfers that we're going to try, like this £2 million striker that still hasn't come in yet, that we're going for. I read that we're having to look at now strengthening somewhere for an attacking box-to-box midfielder is because of JJ being injured. So we must be in serious financial meltdown. We can't sack the manager. We can't get loans in. So do you know what? We may as well just say, you know what? We'll stick with Marty till July the 1st. Get rid of all this deadwood. Get ourselves relegated. And go League One next season, win it, and start the rebuild from there. Because other than that, I said to the missus yesterday about 10:30 after we come back from the shop, and I said, "Oh, tickets are cheap. Shall we go over?" And she turned around and looked at me, and she went, "Do you really want to spend 50 quid on that, Dross?" And that's my wife who don't like football.
What, you actually listened to her? I'm surprised at that, Greg.
I did listen to her, but you know what,
hell.
Jamie? I feel sorry for you, mate, that's come that far.
Come on to that in a minute, pal. We'll come on to that in a minute. Jono, I was looking at the team yesterday, and I noticed there was 10 academy lads. And I think I said this to you yesterday, Reedy, but Jono, I'd rather have a team full of youth players lose 3 or 4-0, and at least you see them giving it a go. Because I think some of them youth players and youth team players would give it a go. You had Louis Page on there that I thought was man of the match. I'm not sure what happened to Ben Nelson, apart from Chowdhury, of course. But you had youth players on there, and I'd much rather have them playing, Jono, and giving it all they've got than a bunch of overpaid Nancy's not putting the effort in and playing.
Yeah, I think we've been saying that for a while. However, I think Ben Nelson got an injury at half time or something. I think that's what.
Yeah, I don't think you'd make a sub like that if he hadn't been injured.
He was saying all that. He was playing him at left back,
Yeah, that's it. That's what the issue was, according to Taggart and Elliott at the end of the game, is that he was being played out of position and was being opened up, which is why Thomas come on. He's yeah.
If that's why you're getting booze for substitutions as well, because that's one of the biggest things I heard.
But he was using Akoli as the man to be the spare man to then play the ball forward. We've seen that too many times where Akoli's the man who's left free to either drive forward or play the pass forward. Coley's not the person to be doing that. You want either Vestergaard or Ben Nelson doing that. So why stick him out on the left and put a Coley in the middle?
If you're taking a defender off to put Luke Thomas on the left, you'd take a Coley off and put Ben Nelson there.
That's the way you should have done it. If there was no injury, a Coley was having a bit of a pants game, and then you move Nelson there and Luke Thomas at left back. Yeah, but it's just I don't know.
Sorry.
But in terms of the youth lot, I thought Page was all right yesterday. I thought it was average. But you know, what can you expect from a 17-year-old lad coming in to try and save this lot? And likewise with Mungo, it's just a lot to ask of a lot of young players. I kind of get the point about trying to put them all in and letting them lose 3 or 4-0. Where does that leave us as a club, though, if we do that? And where does that leave them with their confidence longer term? So I think it's a problem that they should have been brought in and bled in more progressively over the season, I think, and they'd have had a bunch of games behind them already to potentially start bringing them in now, but that hasn't happened. And so, it's a big failing, I think, from Marty's point of view, not bringing them in more progressively over the season. But that's where we are.
Yeah, really, top was there, wasn't he? Yesterday, his first, I think, only his second game since that magical interview he did in an office at Bangkok Airport, not even his own house, which was about 2 months ago. And some of the photos, he looked quite bored and fed up sitting there. He didn't really look interested in it. Same as John Woodkid. Didn't really look interested in it, did he, read it?
It just seems a bit of a coincidence that he's turned up on a day that we're playing one of the worst teams in the league and we lost. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I've said that I think yesterday was a make or break for either Marty to stay or go. And after we lost, I thought, that's it, it's done. But knowing how our club is run with Rodgers and Ruud van Nistelrooy and all that, I could see it staying for another few weeks.
I mean, Jono. I've lost my notes here. Here it is. Here's the question I was going to ask you. Is Marty becoming our worst ever manager? And is it because of the players we've got, or is it because of himself not being a tactical genius?
Well, he's definitely in the list of worst ever managers, I'd say. He's going, but he hasn't. There's a few buts there, though.
Go on.
First of all, he's inherited a bunch of absolutely terrible footballers who just aren't engaged in wanting to play football for us. 2, he's not been helped whatsoever in the transfer market. And I'm not trying to defend him because I think it's time for him to go. We've seen enough from him to say that he's not actually making any difference. In fact, he's making it worse at this point in time. So he has to go. But worst ever, I'm not sure about that. I've seen some terrible managers over. Levine probably is the one.
Is he worse than Peter Taylor?
Oh, yeah, that's another one. Yeah. No, not at this point.
Ian Holloway
took us down as well to League One. So, albeit in a team that we're fighting and trying to stay up.
Were they?
Well, no, Levine. Sorry.
Levine.
Sorry, when we went down with Ian Holloway, that team were an honest team, I think, and we went down because we were crap. This team are being paid like massively bit more than anyone else in the division, and we're massively underperforming. So that's a completely different kettle of fish for me. Is the fact that it's probably worse. The fact that we should have a squad that's doing half decent in this league. I'm not saying should be at the top, but we should be in the certainly in the top half, and they're being paid handsomely to underperform. So I think it's actually probably worse. Whether that's all on Marty is debatable. So that's where I'm giving him the bit of the benefit of the doubt. But
see, I'd still agree with Ben Morgan in the fact that I still think the club, the players we've got, are, like, on paper, is good enough to be in a position. I know on paper can't be what decides it, but 2 years ago we had majority of the players we've got now still. Like, yes, we've lost some of the backup in, like, for instance, Pratt and Kelechi Nacho and all that, but
you've lost Dewsbury Hall, Vardy, Hermanson.
No, I know that. I think the main ones that I'd say we've lost, but then I'd say that we've probably got back in certain aspects. Obviously, he's Dewsbury Hall, and now we've got JJ. Yes, Vardy is the main and biggest issue we've got of losing, but overall, you've still got both of the wingers. You've still got majority of the defence. You've still got majority of the midfield. For me, I don't. As much as I'd say I don't think it'd change if someone else came in to manage them, there's every chance it could. I don't know. I'm not saying that Marty should lose his job because of how bad we've done, because I think that there's every chance it's everywhere else it's a problem as well. But I think the results alone is going to get him sacked. So, like I say, people are saying in the comments, who do you think who would be bringing if that's the case? If anything, right now, I don't think anything would improve it other than maybe just leaving it to Andy King to do it, see what he can do.
It won't cost us anything.
Yeah, I think that's the only issue. That's the only way you could go for it.
Just a couple of things on what you guys have touched on. Top being at the game, I read somewhere in the group chat yesterday that actually Top was being quite vocal with his hands down towards the touchline, which surprised me. I think it was Chris that put that in. But also, has anyone else seen the Leicester fans around Jamie Vardy getting pictures doing the rounds on Facebook?
Yeah, we've seen that, yeah.
So, someone says to him, "Where's the problem?" And he said, "I can either deny."
Now, there was another one as well on Rebecca Vardy's Instagram account. She was asking questions.
She said, "Not while Rudkin's there."
If you think Rudkin's a wanker, put a picture of a lemon. She didn't put a picture of a lemon. She put a picture of a whole bloody lemon tree. So what does that tell you?
Oh yeah, there is that. But
I think now Susan Whelan wasn't the problem.
No,
of course it was.
She left.
She probably tried to get. She tried to get out of the crap.
Yeah, but how can you know that your number 9 is going, not having any valid replacement after that, but you know he's going in 12 months' time? Surely your main priority would be to get a number 9 in. I don't care whether you're the owner, whether you're the financial bloody director or whatever Rudkin's meant to do, or even if you're Sally who cleans the flipping changing rooms.
Yeah.
It ain't hard to know that your prolific goal scorer is going. So let's go around and look at the markets and see who we can get. Lyndon Dykes turned up at Charlton. I tell you what, a lot of fans Leicester players didn't want him. He didn't want to come to us. But I bet you he gets an assist and a goal on Saturday.
Well, he didn't yesterday, did he? Because they lost, didn't they? 3-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4.
But if you look at the table, Jono, which way do you look? Do you look up or do you look down? Because we're 6 points off Wrexham in 6, but we're only 9 points off Blackburn. Which way do you look? And with the points deduction coming, that I'm trying not to talk about, I think you've got to be looking downwards now. I mean, surely. Yeah,
it's a bonkers league, isn't it? The fact that we can still cling on to any kind of hope of a playoff. I've left that. I thought at the beginning of this phase of games around Coventry, Wrexham, and this one, if we got sort of 7 points out of those games, with some half decent performances, we could be pushing up the table, and I'd have been optimistic for a playoff spot. The actual opposite has happened. So I'm actually starting to look down and thinking points deduction, we're in a proper mess. We've just lost to a relegation, another team that's in the mire, going to be fighting and scrapping for relegation. We've lost at home 2-1 to them. and deservedly so lost. So
is that 6 points they've took off us now?
No, we
Don't
drew,
know.
we drew
We
some,
drew
I
it. Oh,
think.
there we drew it there, mate.
Right.
Nick, Nick's, how can a former youth team coach become director of football at the King Power? Get them out. Before he was a director of football and a coach in the youth academy, he worked on a building site, which I found out yesterday. He was in the construction trade. I didn't know that before he became an academy coach. There you go. There's a fact for you that no one knew.
Yeah.
He must have some naughty photos around somewhere of people doing naughty things.
But right, on your point earlier, Gray, you said that, I feel sorry for you for coming back. No need to feel sorry for me. It's my own fault for wanting to come back. But the problem I have, I don't know whether you might feel the same, is I have to come back because I don't want to distance myself from the club itself.
Yeah.
And my missus, we watch every game at home, and she absolutely doesn't hate football, but she'll watch it. And she says, why do you keep watching this shit? It's the same shit week in, week out. And it says, but it's a habit. It's habit forming. I've been doing it for 50 odd years. And I think to myself, if I stop watching it, I'm going to lose that habit and lose interest in going. So that's one of the reasons why I keep coming back 3 or 4 times, which honestly, because I know people that live within a mile of the ground itself and don't go at all.
So my wife and your wife will go well in the summer, Jamie.
At least,
my wife.
Yeah, hold on, Greg.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
At least I come back and I support the club. Yes, I talk shit about them. I'm negative about them. I'm positive when I'm positive, but I come back because I feel the need to keep going because I don't want to lose that interest in actually going to the games. And I don't know whether just for reading and Jono, I know you've both got tickets and that. Are you feeling that way? You're finding it hard to go now? Because I'm finding it hard, but I still feel the need to go because I don't want to get out the habit of going to games.
I'd say that I still go no matter what in my eyes. As much as I know it's probably going to be crap, I go because I enjoy football. And as much as the football's really bad at the moment, like I say, I went to Wrexham last week. I'm going to be going to Birmingham. I'm going to be going to all the other ones still. As much as, yes, I missed a few this season, it's not because I didn't want to go. It's because either I was ill or I just couldn't make it. For me, I don't care. I'd still go to every home game, even if it was actually that bad. But yeah, it's annoying because we know it's probably going to be bad. Like I say, I walked into the ground yesterday knowing that we weren't going to win the game. But you got to hope. You got to have the hope to feel like it's only Oxford. Go and get a result, and you didn't. So.
Yeah. This is my first season back in Leicestershire, so we've got season tickets, and I'll take my lad down. Obviously, I was hoping to show him a bit of a showcase this season of how Leicester can be, a good place to be, and he struggles now. I struggled to take him down, and if we're like yesterday, he was just bored and he wanted to go home, and occasionally we have the 3-0 down to Sheffield United. We walked at half time because it was just freezing cold and he was just, moaning. So we had to go. But from my perspective, I'm going to keep going down. I'm going to pick and choose the games that I take him to. I think the next one in Charlton is a midday kickoff. So I think I'll just be going down by myself because he's got football and other things going on. But from my perspective, I'm going to keep going, of course. But yeah, it's got to the point now as well with the atmosphere the way it was yesterday. It was not really a great place to have my 8-year-old son about. There was a lot of negativity, the fighting on the pitch, not things that necessarily you want to be showing an 8-year-old the way to behave. But, all of that is, it is what it is. We are where we are, and you can only hope that things will improve. It might take a long time. We might be in the doo-doo for a long time to come, but I'm going to continue to support and be down there. I think, yeah.
Great. We touched on this earlier about the booing just before, after about the 15th minute, something like that. But the atmosphere yesterday, Gray, was awful. Like Jono just said, Gray, you don't know what's going to happen, do you? Even I hate to bring this up on this chat. I don't like them at all. Even Union FS did nothing whatsoever yesterday. There was no banners, no singing, no nothing, and the atmosphere was awful. And the only time the atmosphere ever got anything great was when there was sack the board and Marty, you don't know what you're doing, and sack the board. You're getting sacked in the morning. But the atmosphere was awful great yesterday, pal. It really was.
So you said it was from about 15, 20 minutes, and you don't know how much I heard of it on the TV. Mate, the atmosphere was dross from 2 minutes. It seemed terrible. It just seemed like all game. There was nothing. There was more coming from the Oxford fans. And then for the Oxford fans to be singing, "You've seen the Oxford, now fuck off home." I thought it was coming through clear as day on the TV. Just touching on something that Reedy said is that we've turned up, it's only little Oxford. That's what the problem was yesterday.
Oh, yeah. You turn up and you think you can beat them. Yeah.
Yeah. And your wife and my wife will get on great in the summer, Jamie, because my wife is like me. Why are you watching this shit? But it's habit. I watch it. I watch the midweeks. It is, Jamie. It's habit. And I am so glad that I saved me 50 odd quid and me petrol to get over to the game yesterday, because it was terrible. And I won't be spending any money down there for a while. Not until things change, anyway.
Well, Jamie, go on. Jamie, you mentioned about yesterday saying that when they had that little huddle at the start of the game, they went, right, let's not concede in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They did it. Like, that's probably another reason why the atmosphere was so bad from the start, because within 4 minutes you're down 1-0 for an issue, for an error, and you've caused it. So, like, what you're going to expect the Leicester fans to get back on their backs and go, come on, Leicester, we can do it. It only took until the 88th minute, whatever it was, to start. Oh, sorry, the 83rd minute when we scored, to go, right, we've got a good chance of getting back in this. We've got 7 minutes added time as well. Like, we can actually get a draw out of this. But
do you think
you shouldn't wait for something to kickstart you? You should be doing that from the very beginning of the game. You shouldn't wait until something Fatua scores not a stunning goal, but a decent goal. You shouldn't have to wait for that to kickstart you. You shouldn't have to wait for Monga to come on, Silko Thomas to come on, to make a bit more energy of the game, Patson Daka to come on with his running. You shouldn't have to wait for that. You should be like that from the very beginning. You shouldn't have something to kickstart you, put your ideas or kick you up your backside and get you going. It's not right, is it, Jono? You need to go from that very first minute. And I think if I remember rightly, Oxford were attacking from the very first and put pressure on us very straight away. I think that's what causes a problem, John.
Yeah. That huddle at the beginning of the match winds me up. So many times they do that, and what are they saying in there?
Yeah.
Because so many times they just start with a whimper, either the first half or the second half, and then the other team. We've seen it too many times this season where we've conceded in the first 5 to 6 minutes, and the same again. I joked to the guy next to me, and I hope they're saying, let's keep it tight for 20 minutes, let's not concede, and then lo and behold, like 4 minutes later, they're 1-0 down, and that's not going to help the fans get behind them. To be fair to the fans, we went 1-0 down. There were some moans and groans and some booing, but they were, when Leicester got the ball, trying to support them to get back into the game, because at that point it was only 1-0. But then it just went from bad to worse, progressively, seeing that Oxford were just all over us, and that's where it got progressively worse. So the fans didn't give up on them, even though they went 1-0 down. They was trying to push them forward, but it wasn't happening. And there's only so far you can go before things turn, isn't it? So,
well, yes, it is. Great. I'd like to say it's been. Go on before you go.
I'm just going to say I know what they say in them huddles.
They're arranging what they're having for dinner later on.
No, they say, let's see how quick we can concede and get the crowd on our backs for fun, and then let's see if we can go 2 or 3 down, and let's see if we can claw it back.
Yeah,
and get Marty sacked.
I think we're arranging the night out and what they were going to do.
In that huddle, they're like, what can we do? Top's up there. He's in town. What can we do to get Marty out? That's what I remember.
You're saying that. the owner's turned up, the boss has turned up.
Yeah.
You do your work to the best of your ability in front of your boss, don't you, Reader? You work your arse off in front of your boss to do it. You don't just put in the same performance in. You make improvements, and I don't know. Nothing. I really don't know. We're having the same conversation. Men really have this conversation all the time. It's the same conversation week in, week out. It's like copy and paste. It really is. I've had so many people that sit around and say, "I'll be watching you tomorrow," but it's going to be the same as what you talked about last week, the week after, and the week before that, and it'll be the same for the rest of the season. But I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. Great. I'd just like to say cheers for joining. 2 weeks on the trot, pal. That's a record, isn't it? 2 weeks on the trot.
And Jono was agreeing with me in WhatsApp yesterday. Shock horror.
That makes a change, doesn't it?
Doesn't it, Josh?
Somebody agreeing with you, really. That's definitely. All right, then, great. We shall speak to you later, pal.
See you.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot for joining.
Cheers.
Jono, much appreciated getting out of your bed. No football today, was there, with the lad?
No, I mean, Sunday morning is tricky for me because we're doing the under-8s games every other week. So we do the training on the Saturdays, games are on the Sunday. So this sort of time in the week's a bit busy for me. But this week we've got no games, so thought I'd join. But so thanks for having me.
Happy days. You can go and sit down and have a cup of tea and relax now, can't you? And think about everything for this week. All right, then, pal. We shall see you later, mate. Thanks for joining.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers, pal. Thanks, Jono. Read it. Well, what can we say? Another week on the cold face, taking in comments from everyone and talking shit about Leicester when it's the same week in, week out, isn't it, pal? It's just you and me waffling on about it, but it's enjoyable waffle, though, isn't it, mate?
It's just the same shit, different day, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah. Before we go, you might notice I've got this. It's my grandson. He played football with Harrison. And unfortunately, Harrison lost his life through cancer at the age of 12. Yeah, 12. And they're running a charity, and this is it: Harrison Forever. H10 Harrison Forever. If you want to get a T-shirt or anything merchandise with it, just to help them, because they're raising money for the cancer charity at the Royal. And I'll also be doing something in February that I'll let you know next week. But yeah, so if you want to support them, it's Harrison Forever on Facebook. Click the link. They've sold out of the first lot of stock and they've just got some more. So please, you're benefiting everyone. Someone's had that deadly blow with cancer. I know it's ending in a bit of a sour note, but we've all had someone. We all know someone that's dealt with cancer. So please go and support them. Anyway, and thank you for everyone that I saw yesterday. Absolutely everyone. Right, thank you. Yes, I saw Mitchell yesterday. Lindsay wasn't here. I saw the two lads yesterday. But please go and support them. It'd be much appreciated. Yeah, I might go and see if I can spot her in the next 10 minutes. They're just starting to come in because I think kickoff's 12 o'clock. But anyway, I'd just like to thank everyone that I saw yesterday. I was so busy trying to get around seeing everyone. I couldn't even see Reedy before the game. I had to see him after the game, unfortunately. But yes, so much appreciated. Too many people to mention, but actually great night. And I met Stevie Walsh and Muzzies here that made it even better for me at the end of the night. It was fantastic. And I even bumped into Daddy Dork as well. And Reedy even got a smile from Daddy. Reedy like Daddy Dork, didn't you, pal?
He was all right.
Oh, he was all right. Yeah, right, yeah. Right, there you go, lads and lasses. Much appreciated. Reedy, we shall see you next week. Are you going Charlton? Oh, it's at home, isn't it? So you will be going to the game, won't you?
Yes, I will be going, yes. See it.
Phil will do that tomorrow night, and Jono and Simon will have their show on Thursday night to discuss it in more detail. But for me, Reedy, you're welcome, and we shall see you all next week. Reedy, play the music, pal. You forgot that, didn't you? You forgot you had one job to do.
Leicester Fan TV presents.
You've been watching the famous Foxes Aftermath show live every Sunday morning on Leicester Fan TV. Much appreciated for all you getting up at 9:30. If you're watching in your pit, in the car, on the bus, on a plane, at the breakfast table, cheers all. Just a little bit of homework before you go. Please like and share on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever platform you're watching on. Much appreciated. There goes the final whistle. Ciao, ciao. Adios. Goodbye. See you next week. Come on, you Foxes.
In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,